It's day 200 of the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. 200 days ago, Hamas launched a massacre against hundreds of Israeli civilians, and Israel responded with a brutal campaign of mass murder and mass starvation in the Gaza Strip. So here is an update on the humanitarian crisis in Gaza after 200 days. So 34,151 people have been killed in the Gaza Strip, which is 1.4% of the entire Strip's population killed after 200 days. It's unclear how many of them are civilians and how many of them aren't, but at least 70% of the people killed have been women and children. So 9,500 women have been killed and 14,500 children have been killed. Additionally, 77,000 people have been injured and 7,000 people are missing or reported under the rubble. 1.7 million people have been internally displaced, which is 75% of Gaza's population, homeless and unable to leave the country. 249 aid workers have been killed, including 181 United Nations staff and 27 Palestinian Red Crescent Society members and 41 other aid workers, and 490 health workers have been killed, and 140 journalists and media workers have been killed. The entire population of the Gaza Strip is facing food insecurity. So 265,000 people are facing crisis levels of food insecurity, 854,000 people are facing emergency levels of food insecurity, and 1.1 million people, or half of Gaza's population, is facing catastrophic levels of food insecurity. 28 children have died of malnutrition and dehydration so far, and 31% of all children in northern Gaza under the age of 2 suffer from malnutrition. And 10% of children under the age of 2 in Rafah suffer from malnutrition. And in total, 50,000 children are estimated to be malnourished at the moment. Diseases have also been spreading in Gaza, with 643,000 cases of respiratory infections reported and 346,000 cases of diarrhea, of which 106,000 are children under the age of 5, or a third of the total diarrhea cases. 11 hospitals in Gaza are partially functioning, while 26 hospitals are out of service because they've been damaged or destroyed by Israeli attacks. 80% of the school buildings in Gaza have been directly hit or damaged by Israeli attacks, and 600,000 students are currently without any access to education. 6,200 students and 300 educational staff have been killed, and get this, 59% of school buildings who have been used as shelters for displaced people have been directly hit or damaged. So even people sheltering in schools are being bombed by Israel. Water and sanitation, only 1/3 of water pipelines coming from Israel are operational and only at 72% of their full capacity. 83% of groundwater wells are not operating. There is no access to clean water in northern Gaza, and 2/3 of the main water desalination plants are partially functional in Gaza. 60% of all residential buildings in Gaza have been damaged. At least 3 churches and 237 mosques have been destroyed. 155 health facilities have been damaged, and 126 ambulances have been destroyed. It's an extremely catastrophic situation in Gaza right now. 1.4% of the population killed in just 200 days, most of the population displaced from their homes, and the entire population suffering with food insecurity. There needs to be an immediate ceasefire in Gaza because the war can't keep going on like this. Israel is showing no regard for human life. It's killing tens of thousands of innocent and unarmed women and children. Israel is clearly not just targeting Hamas. They've been launching collective punishment against the entire population of Gaza, killing civilians left, right, and center, destroying hundreds of thousands of homes. And it can't keep going at the current rate, because at the current rate, if the war drags on for several more months, hundreds of thousands of people, including many, many children, are going to starve to death. End the bombing and stop the unnecessary loss of innocent human lives.